I was with another CPA firm, and the owner had passed away. I had asked to join where was Sickich Gardner and Company, and I joined them. And Larry met me at my old office, which is in Centerville on Madison Street, and introduced himself. And I told my wife first time I met him, I said, I met a guy I could work with for a long time.
I first met Larry Johnson when I was serving beer at a trivia night at Ursuline Academy around 1998. I didn't know who Larry Johnson was, but he was funny. He came up and ordered a pitcher, went back to his table. I don't know if he won that evening. But Larry Johnson called me when I was working at another institution before coming to the Community Foundation and started talking to me about the Community Foundation. And he would call frequently. I'm like, who is this guy, Larry Johnson?
All of a sudden, I got a phone call. This is Larry Johnson. I didn't know Larry. Somehow, he had gotten wind of this little group of people who were trying to change the foundation, the county foundation to the community foundation, and he had some thoughts about that, and he shared them with me. Larry's very persuasive. He has a way of seeing and analyzing where you are, and then trying to figure out where it is that, whatever it is, where it ought to be, and how to get there. And he honestly pushed me to, I don't know that I ever would have taken some of the steps that we did, but I did, and he was a supporter, as were others, and he helped energize the troops to get through this challenge of creating the community foundation and using our money to hire John.
Ultimately, I ended up having a few conversations with Larry and decided to apply for the position they just announced to become the first executive director of what was then known as the Sangamon County Community Foundation.
He had the vision to see what this could be, and he had worked with other organizations and with foundations in his practice, and realized what the possibilities were boundless, and that we could do that too.
When I had no coworkers, when I was the only employee, it was often Larry who I'd call to discuss the items of the day. The meeting I just had, when I'm excited about it, who do you share that with? Larry was often the person I would call. So Larry is so much a part of the Community Foundation, but moreover, I think he is such an impactful person for creating philanthropy in this community.
Larry and I were invited to join Paul Schaefer, his group of the Fat Ass 5K. It's been around for 15 years now. It's raised over $1.5 million for charity. Unbelievable. It is integrally involved with the Knights of Columbus. I know there's other organizations. He's in Illinois Military Museum out in Camp Lincoln. He gives all his time for everyone. Just this weekend, I was home doing some yard work, and Larry was out the fair making dog tags for veterans off a machine he got refurbished years ago. I don't know how he has time to do it.
Every year at the Springfield City Tournament, boys basketball tournament, we have had a food drive, an all-city food drive to benefit St. Martin de Porres. And that year of the pandemic, things were going to be different. It looked like we probably weren't going to be able to have the food drive, which is a huge support to St. Martin's. So Larry reached out and said, hey, why don't we try a radiothon? And when it was all said and done, we raised over $100,000. And it was unbelievable. And Larry was a driving force behind all of it.
Obviously, as you're growing up, you don't really realize just what a feat it is just to raise 4 kids, let alone to do the job he does, which is a very demanding, time-intensive job. Now knowing all the while, he mixed in about 100 phone calls a day to help with charities and do different events. It really is just unbelievable. You know, we really got to watch 2 great parents, obviously, show us how to give back to the community. My mom's been fundamental in it, as you know, supporting him inside and out for all these years.
I absolutely think we can learn from Larry that relationships are everything. He taught me He gets to know people, creates these strong relationships, builds trust with people, and it's key in giving back and seeing that, we can make a difference in our community.